Hello. Hello.
Just have to shout.
Yeah. Very good.
Hello? Voilà. Okay. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? Good. That's energy one. So good morning, students, teachers, partners, organizers, and the Ottawa Get to Know community. Je m'appelle Rita Houkayem et voici ma co-animatrice Audette-Bourdeau. Et nous sommes super excités pour vous recevoir pour célébrer avec vous the International Girls in ICT Day.
So we would like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather here is the traditional and unceded territory of our Telecommunication.
Now, can I get a show of hands for where my L1 students are at? Woo! Okay. Et où sont les étudiants de Francocité? Okay. And the students for Filming Right High School? Okay. So I hope you're all ready because you are in for an educational, meaning fun treat.
So does anybody here know what Girls in ICT is? Something else than just missing class this morning? All right, let me help you out there. So the United Nations specialized agency called International Telecommunication Union, so also named ITU, established this day to highlight the need to promote technology career opportunities for young women and girls in the world's fastest growing sector.
So you might know this or you might not know this, but there are only about 20% that are women in the ICT field, the tech field. And when I say ICT, that means information and communication technology. So in short, tech. And tech is at the heart of our economy. Do you agree that tech rules our world? It rules our hands, our homes, our jobs, it's everywhere, right? Okay. So because it runs our jobs, our lives, and our world, we need more girls in this field, and there aren't enough. How many are there, did I say, in the field? 20. Is that a lot? Not at all. Okay, that's why you're here today. So this is what we'll be focusing on today, and boys, we need your support.
So we all know that you're very, very active on social media. Let's not lie to each other. And for the first time ever at a school event, you can actually use your phone to tweet, talk about us, talk about this event, talk about what you've learned. Everybody that you've met here tonight, today, I'm already thinking it's tonight. All the vendors, everybody that are here for you, talk about it, spread the word out, and Rita is actually going to talk about the hashtags.
Yes, so like she said, it's the first time ever. So when I was your age, I was not allowed to have a phone, but today you're allowed to, only during the breaks. We want you to still focus, but when there's a break, or there's a moment for you to spare, we want you to actively engage your social media followers. I know you all have more followers than we do. And you would basically hashtag Girls in ICT. You can see it over there, or Girls in ICT Canada, and Women in Tech. So I want you to actively use that because this is one of the most strongest tools to be able to raise awareness about what we're doing. So please use those hashtags. And also during the break, we have the photo booth, and mini social media photo booth. We want you to also use that to take photos with your friends, hold the signs, show them that you really care about this cause, and a lot will come out of it, I promise you, by the end of this.
All right, so you're probably wondering, what are we going to do today? It's pretty simple. So it's going to start with having 4 guest speakers who are going to come on stage here, talk about their experience, whatever they've learned in the past that they can actually tell you about so that you can actually learn from it and hopefully be motivated to continue in that field. And at the same time, well, we can all share and learn from each other. Then we will have a little break. Donc, on va avoir une petite pause. On va pouvoir aller se rafraîchir ici, la nourriture, tout, parce qu'on sait tout quand on veut de l'énergie, il faut la nourriture, il faut des breuvages. Ensuite, on va aller dans nos workshops. So we're going to move into workshops. You're going to go to your activity tables. There are things that are being organized for each tables, and that's going to be very exciting. And then after that, there will be an expo tour. So we've got amazing people here today that are here to talk to you about what they are offering, how they can help you, how they can support you. So please go see them, go talk to them. All they've got to do today is make sure that you're having a great day. And then obviously we want to make sure that as women, you are empowered and that you can actually grow into the sector of tech. So we will do everything we can today to make you motivated.
Merci, Isabelle. And lastly, before we move on to our speakers, I would like to ask all our students to have the following question in their mind throughout the session. So keep this question in mind because we're going to answer it at the end of the session. The question is, how can we use technology for social impact and make a difference in the world? Donc en français, comment pouvons-nous utiliser la technologie pour avoir un impact social et faire une différence dans le monde? So keep that question in your mind throughout the day, and afterwards, what we're going to do is we're going to ask you by the end of the session to write on the post-it your answer. It can be anything, whether it's either by entering a certain profession or by even using your Instagram for awareness or studying something or creating this big cool business with tech. So think of this question, we'll answer it on the post-it afterwards, and we're going to create a mural on the wall and see all your awesome ideas come together. Because obviously when we come together, that's when the best, brightest ideas happen. Cool, got it? The question? Okay, awesome.
All right, so now let's move on to our special guest speaker. Sadly, we couldn't have him with us today, but we have technology, so that's a plus. Because of that, we are very excited to introduce to you the Minister of Innovation, Science and Economic Development, ISED, from the Government of Canada, the Honorable Navdeep Bains, open up the event and share an important video message for you.
And I'm going to use this video right now.
We're supporting this United Nations initiative launched by international telecommunication community, specialized agency, communication and technology.
Can you just pause it for 1 second? Where's the volume coming from? I'll just put the speaker on this. Somewhere? Okay. Can I put the microphone on it?
So here's an idea for all of you. Invent a great speaker system.
I'll make a rubber band.
2019, maybe 2020 is gonna work. Still have those 2 months. Maybe put it on channel 3.
We're going to start it. So this is our minister. He wasn't able to make it this year, but hopefully he can have it next year. And he wants to share a special message with all of you. And
On behalf of the Government of Canada, I want to wish everyone from coast to coast a happy International Girls in ICT Day. We're thrilled to be supporting this United Nations initiative launched by the International Telecommunication Union, a specialized agency for information and communication technologies for ICT. Pour bâtir un secteur des technologies de l'information et des communications inclusives et prospères, il faut donner aux filles et aux femmes les moyens d'agir. Et je peux vous dire que ce ne sont pas des opportunités qui manquent. To help young women take advantage of these opportunities, we're developing a more inclusive environment through initiatives like CanCode, MyTax, the Youth Employment Program. These programs boost the skills, talents, and perspectives of women and girls so they can realize their potential as innovators, agents of change in our digital and data-driven economy. Finally, I want to give a special shout out to the businesses, schools, and nonprofits that work hard to encourage girls to consider careers in ICT. Together, we're building a world-class and inclusive ICT sector, resulting in jobs and economic growth for our great country. Thank you.
thank you. What a great message. And this department, as a department, which is the department I work for, has been so committed to achieving gender equality and create equal opportunities in order to build a nation of innovators, which is all of you, future and also the present, and to create a more inclusive and prosperous ICT sector. So we're very lucky to have, we're also very lucky to have with us ISED Associate Deputy Minister, Lisa Setlakli, my Adrian. Hello, thank you for joining us and for supporting this cause, as well as my director, she's supposed to come shortly, but I want to thank them for really supporting this cause and for pushing and championing this important initiative. On vous remercie du fond de notre cœur.
Donc maintenant, nous allons commencer la première partie de notre journée with the rapid fire session, who will be presented by our 4 special guests today. So our guests are obviously strong women, and I'm extremely proud to present them to you today because these are inspiration for all of Ottawa, but also the whole country. They will be sharing their insights on the type of job that exists in tech, how to blend tech and entrepreneurship together, and how we can use tech for social impact to make a difference in our world. Elles cherchent à vous inspirer à travers leur histoire, leurs expériences, et j'espère que vous allez apprécier leur présentation.
Okay, donc chaque intervenant aura 5 minutes à présenter leurs expériences. And Charles, my dear colleague Charles, will let you know when we have a minute left to speak. Even though we'd love to hear you talk all day, but you'll have to go back home soon. So we will leave you with a few minutes afterwards by the end of the speaking session for the students to ask 1 or 2 questions. And if you have more questions, you can ask by the end of this by the expo tour time. So we're gonna start.
So I would like to now invite our first speaker, Susan Richard, the co-chair of Invest Ottawa and Bayview Yards, as well as the co-founder and CFO of numbercrunch, Inc.
Okay, where's my timekeeper? Wonderful, good, because I'm thinking like I might wander. I want to make sure that you don't have to like hunt me down when my time is going to be good. So welcome. You guys are really lucky. There's no better time to get involved in technology than right now, especially if you're female. So here's the scoop. I have been in tech for half my life. I just did the math. Just reached that second half, and so here we are. But I didn't go to school in the technology sector. So I took business and I majored in accounting. So I'm actually an accountant and an entrepreneur. But my accounting took me into the technology sector because I moved to Ottawa and I got a job at a technology company, and I've been here ever since. And over the last 20 years, I've had the privilege to be able to work for a number of companies, work with a lot of people, and get a little bit of technology osmosis. Also, I had a brother 2 years older than me who always knew he wanted to be a computer programmer. And he owns a company here in Ottawa and has always just directly followed his path, lucky him. I've been able to sit closely with technology sector workers and watch the ecosystem. And I would say about 2-3 years ago, I started to pay attention to the gender factor and recognizing that it hadn't changed in 30 years. There were still the same number of women in technology companies as there were in the past. And that didn't make any sense to me. Women I knew in the technology sector loved what they did. Stellar performers, everything was great, but most of us were just not looking at the workplace through the gender lens. So if I take my experience back a couple years prior to that, I had joined the board here at Invest Ottawa. So welcome to Invest Ottawa. How many people, it's your first time in the building? Woo! It will not be your last. So get used to the space, enjoy the environment. There's going to be more programming that you should come back to. Sign up on the website to the newsletter. Start to receive the communication that's coming out because we're going to be talking to you time and time again. Get you back in the building. I sit on the board of Invest Ottawa. I sat on the board for 3 years, and as of about a year ago, I'm now the co-chair of the board. And since becoming co-chair, I've pulled together an esteemed team to help make both Invest Ottawa and our community of businesses in the technology, primarily in the technology sector, more diverse and more inclusive. And so that should mean that over the next few years, there's going to be more and more programming that's helping companies make their workplaces more and more amazing for women. And there's always been great opportunity there. So I would encourage you, if you don't know what you want to be when you grow up, go into technology. It is an amazing default. Every business in the world has to have technology capabilities. It doesn't matter what your business is. Anything that used to be non-technology has to move, or else it's going to just die off. So it's ubiquitous. There will be a job for you. Plus, you're going to have an advantage because all the companies are going to be hunting down to try to help their diversity numbers. Nobody's proud of 20%, and a lot of companies are much worse than 20%. So they are looking for you. You are gonna have an advantage, and you're going to have an advantage for co-op placements. You're going to have an advantage for promotions inside the ecosystem because we need more women at the management level, at the director level, at the board level, and you only get there by getting in the job. So I highly encourage, and if you decide that you don't want to go in the tech sector, then I can do what you feel like it's not accounting. I am going to take 1 minute. Sure. Oh, in front of the laptop.
Just so you can, we're live streaming, so I should.
Oh, I'm so sorry. People at home.
Yes.
I want to see, does anybody have a question for me? Or 2 questions, or 3 questions. Questions may come after everybody else speaks. But anyway, I'll leave you with, welcome to the building, enjoy your day, ask all the questions. When I was your age, my dad said, go and talk to all the professionals in our town. I grew up in a small town, ask them what they do. That's ridiculous. Nobody's ever gonna do that. You have everybody right here today, though. Ask those questions. Those niggling thoughts that you have, ask around. Feel free to approach me after and ask me any questions that you have too. And you can connect on social, iSunsun, if you wanna tweet me a question. Thank you.
Thank you, that was really inspiring. And like she said, don't hesitate to ask any questions. And basically that's how we all made it here. A lot of us just ask cold email, cold call people. Just make sure you're always asking, and we're all here to help, so please don't hesitate to come up to us. Now, I would like to call our second speaker, Jennifer Francis, a technology mentor, advisor and investor at for Café Noir Consulting, Capital Angel Network, and Technovation Ottawa. Jennifer Francis. Yes. Spotlight. Okay, so do I get the?
It actually is working. It just doesn't sound like it's but it does.
Hello.
Yeah, your son's.
All right, welcome. So I think I'm supposed to stand over here somewhere in front. So I'm Jennifer Francis, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey in tech and then what I'm doing now. So I actually did do a traditional tech degree. I was inspired to go into tech by my grade 10 math teacher. Prior to that, I had absolutely no interest in the field, but he was very, very encouraging, and so I wound up going to the University of Waterloo. I studied computer science at Waterloo. Then I went into the tech sector, and I worked for software firms for all of my career. I did software development, which is coding. I did marketing, product management, executive positions. I worked at IBM, which is 400,000 employees worldwide, and I worked at a company that had 20 employees. So, right, sort of the gamut of company sizes. And I loved all of it. Had a fabulous career. My last 2 years as an executive at IBM. I left IBM 6 years ago. And now what I do is kind of what I want to do, which is great. So I work with startup companies here in Ottawa, so companies like Elizabeth's Welbi, which is building solutions to help people in retirement homes. There's a company here called The Grocer, which uses the combination of technology and farming to deal with food security. And all sorts of other companies around the city, solving really complex and really interesting problems with technology. It's a lot of fun. And so now I run a program called Technovation, and I know there's at least one person here. How many have heard of Technovation? Excellent. So Technovation is a program to teach girls from ages 10 to 18 technology entrepreneurship. And so you learn how to do coding, marketing, sales, business. We do a pitch competition. I do that part because throughout my career, same thing as Susan, the numbers of women in technology didn't really change during the 30 years that I've worked in the field. So part of that But part of it is just because these are really great careers. You can do a lot with the technology background. And many of you are thinking, well, I want to do things that make a difference. I want to have an impact. And when I look at some of the companies around here and what they're doing with technology, and some of these are female-led companies. So there's a company here, female co-founder, Tandu Technical. They are working on climate change. So their solution is turning carbon dioxide emissions into calcium carbonate. I'm not a scientist, I'm a computer person, I think it's calcium carbonate. But it's dealing with the emissions of carbon dioxide. And if you think about some of the biggest problems that we have, like climate change, those problems are going to be solved by technology. Right? And you want to get into this field if you want to make a huge impact on the world. And then just the day-to-day impact you can make on the world. So how many people use your phone every day? How many people use apps on your phone every day versus just using it as a phone? How many people actually use it as a phone? How many people like all the apps that you download? And not so much. How many people wish there was an app that doesn't exist yet? Yeah, quite a few of you. Yeah, so if you want to get in there and you want to influence how the change happens, you want to be part of technology. And so what I would talk about is you don't want to just be what I'll call a victim of technology. You want to be a perpetrator. You want to be in there. You want to be setting how it works so it works for you, right? And so you can have a huge impact on the world, solving the most complex problems like, as I said, the grocer, so Rita at the grocer, she's working on the problem of food security and being able to grow food in regions where they can't farm, like the Noir, food desert areas. Elizabeth, solving the problem of people in retirement homes, how to keep them connected, how to keep them active, how to keep them safe, right? Things like that. So these are big, thorny, impactful problems being solved with technology. And you can go out there and you can impact many, many people's lives with these careers, and you can have a lot of fun. And you can, they're just great, great careers. So I would encourage all of you to think about what you can do with technology and why it's important that more people get involved in technology. And if you want to learn more, you can come and see me over at this table over here, and we'll show you how we build businesses with tech.
You can ask at the end.
Oh, we're going to ask at the end. All right.
So thank you very much, Jennifer. To be honest, I've known Jennifer for the past 3 years, and I've seen Susan around taking care of Invest Ottawa, where our company is located. And these two women are incredible. They've actually been giving back to the community, and not only do they have amazing experience, but they're also making sure that everybody that comes here and Invest Ottawa or in the region are going to actually have success, and that's what we love about it. Thank you. So, j'aimerais maintenant appeler le troisième intervenant, Lama, qui est la Digital Community Manager at Refugees 613, an agile and innovative communication hub that informs, connects, and inspires people to welcome refugees and build strong communities.
Hello everyone. In 2002, when I was still a student, this year. Okay. A friend of mine asked me if I want to join a forum. At that time, the internet was quite new in Syria, where I was living. I wasn't sure what all that means, but I wanted to learn more. So I joined, and a couple of months later, I became an admin in that forum. Simply, Simply, it was like a website which has like different topics, and people can comment, share their knowledge, discuss, and have having fun. I was very happy to be with real people coming from different places, sharing the same interests in a virtual world. But I also learned that connecting with people in virtual world is different. The words might mean different things to different people. You cannot see their faces. You don't know their feelings when they are expressing themselves rightly. You have to choose your word very carefully. I also learned that many people might have different personalities behind the screen. So it is very important to know what information is to share and what information is not. Then the Facebook became popular. I had my page in the early years and I joined a couple of groups. It was mainly about daily life discussions. While freedom of expression is important, I learned that being in virtual world should have rules and guidelines as well. Living and working in many different countries during my life helped me to gain a multiculturalism background and much more understanding of human behavior. I traveled to dozens of countries and lived in Saudi Arabia, Syria, Indonesia, Switzerland, and here I am in Canada. My name is Chami. I am the Digital Community Manager at Refugee 613. When the Syrian refugees arrived in Ottawa a few years ago, we at Refugee 613 realized the need of having a trustful and verified source of information for these people that would answer their questions and help them for better integration in Ottawa. And building on go where your audience are, the WhatsApp platform was the one to use and a WhatsApp group was created. We started with one group with no more than 20 members in 2017. And now we have two groups with more than 500 members, which, yes, 500 members from refugees and newcomers who speak Arabic in Ottawa. The group benefits them in many different ways. It is in their own language, it is free, easy to use, and provide them with day-to-day information that helps them to settle in Ottawa, and also provide them with peer support and equal opportunities to ask, contribute, learn, regardless of their sex, family situation, language skills, education background. If someone 10 years ago told me about being an admin for a WhatsApp group or a Facebook group, I would be like, what does that mean? Why do you need a full-time job person to do the job that I can't do it while I'm laying on my bed? It looks like very simple job, but believe me, it's not that easy. Dealing with 500 members every day, answering questions, finding the right answers, and also providing with information that would help them for better living and integration in Ottawa is not that easy. After the success of the group, we had through using the digital messaging, we have now 4 partners in Ottawa and around Canada, which are using testing new models of using the digital messaging for better and easier integration for newcomers and refugees. Some quotes from the groups. People were very happy when we did an evaluation in the group, and they told me, many people came to me and thanked me for being there for them and giving them the information they need. A lady one time came to me and said, "Oh my God, thank you very much for the help that you gave me. You directed me to the service that I need. I cannot go out to attend any English classes, but with your help, I am success now to have I have a teacher who comes to my place once a week and help me to learn English." People in the group are very interactive. Being female, moderating this group gives me an advantage because sometimes words coming from a male to male could give them like a bit conflict. But being a woman, they respect me in the group and they always thank me for the services that we give. Thank you very much. If you have any question, I'm here.
Thank you so much, John, for that. And how powerful is it to have these tools that we use every day and be able to actually make such a difference in people's lives? We don't even think about it, but really, when you use WhatsApp or Instagram or Facebook, any of those social media at first. There is so much power in that, and you don't think about it, but it's actually mind-blowing. And now, last but not least, j'aimerais appeler notre dernière intervenante, Janet Longmore, the founder and CEO of Digital Opportunity Trust, which is an NGO that pushes youth to become innovators and leaders and to create and apply digital solutions to have positive impact in their community. Janet Longmore.
Good morning and bonjour, je suis ravie d'être ici avec vous tous. A little shout out to Film and Right. Both my kids went to Film and Right, and it was, an interesting and challenging time. They made it through. And my daughter is one of Canada's Rhodes Scholars, so anything is possible. Yay, Film, okay. And other neighbors I see here from Chelsea. So wonderful to be here with all of you. I work with young women and men across Africa, the Middle East, and here in Canada, who are transforming their communities with digital innovations and digital skills. DOT is a movement of young people who are transforming their communities as social entrepreneurs, and again, as digital innovators. And we support young people to offer training in their communities where they live. They experience a shift in who they see themselves as, their confidence as they're building their own digital skills and transferring their knowledge to others. And what we've learned over years at DOT is that young people have deep insight into the needs of their communities. You live with challenges you see around you every day, and you know you have solutions. And with digital, you can leverage new opportunities to create solutions to your challenges. We also know how passionate young women and men are about technology, about connecting with others, and we are working with thousands and thousands of young women and men who are staying connected, sharing their ideas every day for their solutions. Just want to talk a little bit about why technology. We're here, we're celebrating Girls in ICT Day, like all over the world. We'll hear from Doreen soon from ITU. All over the world, we are celebrating Girls in ICT Day. But why digital skills? So we know there's a need to bridge the gender digital divide. We've heard statistics. We know women need to bring their unique perspective into the tech sector to shape what the tech sector is going to look like going forward. But there's also something else about digital skills that all of you have and that you're going to continue to build. Because you can change the world. You can transform your community. You can be solution creators, creating new opportunities that did not exist before, all leveraging the power of technology. I founded DOT 18 years ago, and one of our first launches in Jordan 18 years ago, we operated with a virtual support system to our colleagues in Jordan. Every day, I continue to be inspired by the young people we work with. And this is a generation, you know this, you're not waiting. You're smart, you're tech savvy, you're purpose driven, you really care. You deeply care about what's going on in this world, whether it's climate, whether it's the social injustices and income inequality. You are a different generation. You care deeply and you're purpose-led. And by investing in your digital skills and knowledge, you can create opportunities for yourself and for others to do something that matters. And I know you want the opportunity to do that. It only takes one person to make a significant difference in the lives of people around you. You just heard from Lama and what she's doing that is impacting thousands of new Canadians. And with digital skills, and the spirit of innovation, you can create jobs and opportunities and leaders and role models. And you can leverage the unique characteristics of women's leadership, empathy, collaboration, co-leadership. Think about this as you follow your path. And think about that ripple effect of just one person making a difference in the lives of so many. At DOT, I work with thousands and thousands of young women all over the world. And they are creating that ripple effect. We have young women in Kenya who are creating community schools to teach young girls to code. We've got young women in Jordan who are building bus shelters that are safe in the evening so that women can feel safe when they're waiting for their transportation to home or to work. We've got Chami in Rwanda who has built an e-savings platforms for the women's cooperatives, all leveraging technology. And Yvonne here in Canada, speaking to her own personal passion and experience, has created an app, Empower Many, to work with those who have experienced sexual violence or sexual assault, so that they can get connected to help in their schools and in their communities. And so we can just have a dialogue about what it means to have experienced sexual assault. So the innovations that are changing the world, thousands and thousands, and I encourage you to join this movement. I think many of you are already there. Think about your passion, what's important to you. Bene Brown, who I read a lot, she talks about the origins of the word courage. And it means to tell your story from your heart. How do you tell your own story, your personal story, from your heart? What is that story, that path to your change in the world that you want to see? What does that look like? So have courage, stay true to your passion, and dare to be bold. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jan. Who's feeling inspired right now? Super inspired to go out and make a difference in the world. Thank you to all of our speakers. And before we move on to the workshop activity table components of the day, we actually have one more special video that will be played. Now, we would have loved to have her here. She lives around Geneva, and she's actually the lady behind this special day. She works for the United Nations, you've all heard of the United Nations, yes? And specifically for the agency called the International Telecommunications Union. And she's actually the director of the Telecommunications Development Bureau. And she wanted to be there with us today, but she couldn't. So she left you with a very nice, sweet message. And hopefully next year we can fly her from Geneva and have her with us, or in the future years. So we'll share the message with you right now. Her name is Doreen Bogdan Martin. She just got elected this year. She's actually the first woman at the ITU within this position since 153 years. It took 153 years for a woman to be in her position. That's too long. And yeah,
Your theme today is driving female entrepreneurship and social impact through ICT. It's a theme that's very close to my own heart as director of the Telecommunications Development Bureau, the UN Agency for ICTs at the International Telecommunication Union. I'm also the co-founder of Equals, the global platform for partnership around technology and gender issues. Equals aims to bridge the current gender digital divide so that women and girls everywhere have the same opportunities as men to use technology, to study technology, to become tech creators, and even tech entrepreneurs. I believe there's no field with more potential for social impact than information and communication technology. Le TIC peut transformer des vies, et tout particulièrement au sein des communautés les plus pauvres et les plus défavorisées du monde. Les plateformes technologiques offrent un échappatoire à l'isolement et à la solitude. Elles permettent à tout un chacun de partager ses histoires et ses connaissances, d'accéder aux soins de santé, à l'éducation, aux services financiers, aux opportunités d'emploi et d'introduire ces produits sur le marché mondial. Elle constitue véritablement l'outil le plus puissant dont nous avons jamais disposé pour favoriser le développement social. But ICTs are more than that. They're also an incredibly exciting field to work in, with great job prospects and high salaries. I wonder how many of you are thinking seriously about including technology as part of your career plan. These days, just about any professional job has a strong tech component, and not just science-oriented ones like engineering, medicine, forensics, or biology. Technology has become a critical tool in fields as diverse as art history, archaeology, law, primary teaching, or even graphic design. Whatever fields you choose, tech qualifications will give you an advantage. I wish you all a great Girls in ICT Day celebration, and whatever you're truly passionate about, put technology at the heart of your career ambitions.
But we have an amazing woman today here. Oh, yes, that's awesome. If this is not motivating you, I don't know what will. Maybe at the end of the day, we'll see. So it is thanks to Doreen and her team that the Girls in ICT Day was launched about 10 years ago. So a huge thank you to her, and hopefully we can have her come from Geneva next year. Left with this.
So nous avons quelques minutes pour des questions, and the rest can be answered throughout the workshops and expos. So if there's a question or two you'd like to ask, and if not, we can just move to the break. But is there anyone that has any urgent or pressing questions or comments they would like to make? Should I just look at him through the eye or avoid eye contact? Any questions? It's all clear? Y'all ready to change the world? It's all clear to you? Yeah, okay, we can ask questions afterwards. So we're actually going to move to the break segment and to help our awesome partners set up the tables for you.
So in the meantime, you can have some refreshments. Please go around, go to the expos that are around the room. They're there to talk to you, they're there to support you. And please take on that opportunity. To be honest, right now, you're probably not realizing everything that is open to you right now. Please jump on that opportunity, make some contacts, start the big world things right now. And yeah, enjoy your break.
And actually, we just have one thread of questions, so I'll actually hear you out. Thank you. Linda.
More snacks than everybody else.
Thank you, Linda, for setting the tone.
So my question is about social media. Obviously, it's very easy to use social media, but I find that sometimes it's hard to get the message across using social media when people just pass by and stuff like that. So my question is what kind of, let's say this in front of this, like, can moyen de réseaux sociaux, like what's the best social media to use to actually get people to listen to this movement?
I love this question, and one of the speakers, I have so many answers, we'll have other speakers respond if anyone would like to take a jab at it, and I'll give you my 2 cents after.
So you're asking what the best type of social media is, or the best approach on social media?
To get our word out.
So one of the things that you need to look at is who is your audience that you're trying to reach. So how many of the girls, how many of you use Facebook on a regular basis?
Oh my God.
Under many. So if we ask the older women in the room, how many of you use Facebook? Okay, so if you were trying to reach young women, Facebook is not a good vehicle. How many of you are on Instagram at the back of the room? All right, at the front of the room, how many are on Instagram? Little more mess. How many at the back are on Twitter? How many at the front are on Twitter? Okay, so one of the things you need to do is understand your audience and know where they hang out. Because if you're posting on Facebook and you're trying to reach 13-year-olds who are allowed on Facebook, not older, 13 to 16-year-olds and you're trying to reach them on Facebook, you're going to fail. If you're hanging out on Instagram and you're trying to reach 50-something plus women, you're not going to find them. So that's part of it, is understanding which channel. Then you have to understand how to reach them on that channel. So how many of you have looked at posts and when you click on the comments, it's like, ooh. Anyone had that happen where the comments didn't go the direction you thought they were gonna go? Yeah. So you have to think about how you phrase what you're doing so that you get a constructive dialogue and not a destructive dialogue. And that can be a lot harder because sometimes people want to just destroy you anyway. And that happens on any social media channel. So a lot of things you need to consider when you're using social media, but it's really, it's allowed us to reach people all around the world that we could never reach before. So it's a very powerful medium, but it's a difficult medium to figure out. So it's really understand your audience, think about your message, work on your phrasing. If it's important to you to try and get something across, spend time thinking about how you phrase it to try and get something constructive instead of destructive.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, and great question. And actually, let's add one thing to that. So, yes, of course, we touch on the audience and we're posting. But another thing is, other than understanding the audience, also you have to be mindful of what you're posting. So, after understanding the audience, we're also in a time where we all want to show off to our friends what we're wearing, where we're hanging out, who's our friends, what kind of things we're eating, and that's cool. I do that too. But another thing is, we also have so much power in this little phone that rules our life. What I mean is, when you're posting something, make it mindful. Don't just be who's all trying to be an influencer? Here, a lot of us are trying to be brand influencers. All of us, a lot of us are trying to be these bloggers, and that's cool. But other than that, you also have a lot of the power of being an influencer of things you care about, and things that make a difference in this world. So being an influencer of the environment, not just of fashion, an influencer of the environment, an influencer of gender equality, an influencer of sustainable development. So when you're posting, other than posting on things that are really cool and hip, it's also cool to post about social issues, about things that you want to make a difference in. So other than targeting your audience, knowing who to target, also make sure that when you're creating content, give it purpose. When you're hashtagging, give it purpose. Like I said, those other things are really cool, and I do that. I love showing my friends what I'm wearing, but I also like to let them know the things that I'm doing in this world to make a difference, and we all play a part. Whether it's a small post, it'll resonate with someone. It'll be like, oh, Mom, I saw this person post this one day, and it made me think about this. Everything we post is always going through our minds, so we have a lot of power in that aspect as well. So just wanted to know that too. So being an influencer of a social issue that you care about. Okay.
I was just only gonna add, you be you. So be you. Have you ever heard the saying, dance like nobody's watching? I think if you feel positive, even for a split second, and a positive idea surges through you, don't think about too much. On the one hand, be purposeful. On the other hand, don't overthink and pull back. Women, girls tend to think a little bit further before we do stuff. When it comes time for applying for jobs, if you can see one thing on that list that you're qualified to do, raise your hand, go on in there, okay? Because the guys will. So when it comes to social media too, if you get a positive inspiration, it feels like you go for it. You be you.
Thank you. Now I'm going to break the promise to answer your questions. The questions on the right, bathroom on the left tonight. Please take a few minutes to take photos in the social media booth, and we will give you 2 minutes for the partners to get organized. Thank you.